Jerry Lane Enterprises and Courtesy Motors present Paradise, Louisiana. With Gary Risponi and Don Dubuque. Paradise, Louisiana is also brought to you by Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change, Cracker Barrel Convenience Stores. We have more than you expect. Always fresh, never frozen, Raising Cane's. Louisiana Fish Fry Products. Demco, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative. Pro Drive Outboards. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana. And Rouse's Markets. You're either local or you're not.
Welcome to Midsummer Edition of Paradise, Louisiana. And Don, it's hot, but the summertime is here and the sun keeps shining. We got the little evening showers that's supposed to cool it down, but it seems like it brings the humidity up. Now,
well, it has been a hot summer, and of course we lost the El Nino effect, so we'll see what that presents for the rest of the summer. I don't even want to bring that situation up, but we got a lot of fishing.
Hurricane season, and I know thinking about it. And I really think about it now that I'm on the coast, right down in Slidell, one of the worst hit areas in the bad storms. So, only thing I can say, let's pray. Let's pray and keep it in. Don, I had a busy week, but a lot of it was working a little bit different than what you were doing. You were actually out there catching fish, but last week I wanted to do something that I always wanted to do. Because I used to fish tournaments a lot. I used to get up early in the morning, 3 or 4 o'clock, go to the landing way off, or go scout before that, spend 3 days hunting fish and fishing tournaments. And after when I got older and started doing the show, we don't do much. Maybe I'll do 2 tournaments a year. And the 2 tournaments we do a year, one of them is a senior tournament. And we quit before it gets hot in there. But I follow Steve Fontana. Steve Fontana is one of the better fisherman, tournament fisherman, and he's fun fisherman. He's just fun to be around. He's an old school guy. He'll fish anything, spinning baits, but he's got a certain way he fishes the area down in Beretta area, Stephenville area. I wanted to follow him, get in the boat. Got Gary Krause, who is a big follower of Steve Fontana. We fished there first and went to Spillway. So this week is all about bass fishing, and when you see the fishing report right now, Gary Krause ain't quit. Him and his son, they're killing. Jeff Brewer, they're all killing the bass down in Benton.
Well, there's been some really good fishing, and that's a result of that Mississippi River dropping. Although we got good news on that, and there's some other areas like the area where I fish where it's gotten tough, the Lake Pontchartrain, Rigolets area, not near as productive as it was a few weeks ago, so we'll cover all of those areas in our fishing report. We also got Rad Trasher going to be joining us a little bit later on. Rad is with the CCA, best known as the Star Tournament Director, and we're going to talk to Rad, get an update for you on how the Star is shaping up. But maybe more importantly, he is going to be a spokesperson for CCA, giving us their perspective on the whole red snapper controversy that's going on.
And I know people are getting tired of it, but just listen to what he's got to saying. And you heard Malonzo last week. You listen to what he says, and then try to see exactly where it is. And you tell me if those people got guts enough to come on Paradise, Louisiana, we're going to give them all the respect they want. And we'll invite other people to come on. Any kind of thing that's controversial, we'll keep it short. We're giving you an invitation right now. Call us, email us, and say, hey, I got a different perspective. You're welcome to come on.
All right, we got all of that coming up, plus our Flambeau Outdoor News segment right here at Paradise, Louisiana. We're at Rouse's on Juban Road Crossing in Denham Springs, and you're watching Paradise, Louisiana.
Courtesy's got your truck, man, so get yourself a deal, man.
Courtesy Automotive is one of the largest and most experienced automotive groups in the South. Courtesy is the clear choice for all your automotive needs. So whether you're looking for a Ford, a Chevrolet, a Ram, Toyota, or a GMC, Courtesy's got your truck.
A big truck, a small truck, Courtesy's got your truck, man.
Who doesn't want to save money on fuel? Now, Shell and the Fuel Rewards Network are putting you in control of how much you pay for fuel. Simply buy whatever's on your shopping list. clothes, groceries, even dinner out. And earn cents per gallon savings at participating retailers nationwide. Now, fuel prices are in your hands. So why wait? Sign up at fuelrewards.com today and turn shopping power into saving power.
Visit Cracker Barrel convenience stores before heading fishing or hunting. We have more than you expect.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana. And of course, not every time someone goes fishing do they have an excellent trip or even a good trip. Sometimes you have tough trips. And I absolutely had one of those fishing with one of the best fishermen in the Pontchartrain Rigolets area ever. And I'm talking about Captain Deadly Dudley Vandenborre. Along for the trip was one of our up-and-coming young journalists, broadcast and print journalist, Joel Masson, Todd Masson's son, who's kind of following in his footsteps. He wanted to come along and get a better handle on how we edit and how we put together television programs. But at the same time, he got a line wet and he ended up catching some nice fish too.
Are you training competition for us?
Replacements, Gary. We ain't gonna be around forever.
Okay,
Somebody's got to sit in that chair and this chair and behind that radio mic and write for the
Maybe
papers.
if he's real good and he can sell, he make more money than we do.
I hope he does. Joel Masson was with us, and Dudley's going to talk about fishing in the heat, and that's some welcome news because if you've been out over the last couple of weeks, we have experienced a pretty serious heat wave along the Gulf Coast. He talks about some of the challenges and some of the impacts of fishing in hot weather. But in the Pontchartrain area right now, trout fishing very difficult. We picked up a couple of speckled trout. We also had some of the other fishermen, the local guys around there talking with us and saying they found it tough. We moved around quite a bit. Picked up some redfish. Dudley had an interesting fight with a young bull shark that you'll see on the video. But primarily we ended up boating some redfish, some puppy drum, of course the catfish. And I got to tell you something about catfish. We've been talking a lot about catching freshwater catfish. Well, you got two species of saltwater catfish, the hardhead and the gaff top. And there are more and more people that are going to that gaff top and doing different recipes with it and saying they enjoy it pretty well.
How long I've been telling you about gaff top cooking? Mike Devens, Henny, long time ago would not let us throw them back. He went back and we filleted them, and they're delicious. And
well, they're a little strong for me on the flavor. If you get that bloodline out, well, I can, you marinate them in milk overnight, and if you want to go through that trouble, almost any fish is edible. Look, you're looking at a guy that cooked the Jack Crevalle. Don't forget that.
That's right.
And got people to like it. So any fish, I think, is edible. It's just a matter of priorities of flavor.
Yeah, but even I was supposed to say Pontchartrain, they call me the Gaspergoo King. I'm the only one catching freshwater drum in Pontchartrain.
Haven't seen many of those, by the way, lately. Anyway, let's take you down there now. Captain Deadly Dudley's got some tips on fishing during the hot weather and also about fishing when you get west wind conditions, which we threw in a little bit of that too. Deadly Dudley Vandenborre.
This time of year, I like to go to the Rigolets, bounce around the bridges, and you catch a fish here, fish there. It might be a trout, might be a sheephead, could be a redfish. And what'll happen is occasionally you'll run into a school of trout and you have a really good day. Next day you may go back to the same spot and not catch a fish. You just get in front of them this time of year. They moving, the bait's moving in and out of the passes. The biggest thing is just keep moving, looking for fish.
Puppy drum.
So, west winds affected them a lot, and we had a west wind today. But I think what happens is it's best to get out early, fish, and get on in, and bring a lot of water with you, a lot of sunscreen, and hopefully you'll get in early.
Righty, that's what you call a red hot July redfish.
When you're fishing in deep water, it's cooler always on the bottom. So what'll happen is the fish seem to congregate in passes, on drop-offs in deep water. Now, if you want to fish in the lakes, go early in the morning, hit the points, hit anything that's got tide running around it, and you'll catch fish, and then go to the deeper water in the passes.
Shark-infested waters.
Well, this time of year in that deep water, you have to use live bait. You're fishing 25, 30 foot of water. So, it's always better to use it. And you can catch them, with plastics at, that time of year, particularly when the tide slows down. But it's always better to have live bait. And like my partner said a long time ago, bring all the bullets you can.
Now, some days, for whatever reason, you can't hone in on one species. Might be the hot weather, hot water. Maybe the tide's not right, or for some reason, the fish just aren't biting. come out to the Lake Pontchartrain, Rigolets area, you can always make a mixed catch.
Ask me about my Tempur-Pedic.
Ask me how fast I fall asleep.
Why not talk to someone who's sleeping on the most highly recommended bed in America?
Ask me about staying asleep.
Tempur-Pedic owners are more satisfied than owners of any traditional mattress brand.
Ask me how it feels after 10 years.
Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America.
Ask about Tempur-Pedic at Olin's, where you know you always get the guaranteed low price. Olin's is the only store in Baton Rouge and Lafayette with the full line of Tempur-Pedics.
Box combo, please.
At Raising Cane's, we do one thing, and we do it better than anyone else. So why not let our food do the talking? Love in the window. Raising Cane's, only the best chicken finger meals. One love.
Welcome to Paradise, Louisiana. Here we are, we put in a dry runs landing, and that's the farthest thing I'm gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you where we're gonna be fishing all day, because these tournament fishermen I got in the boat, Gary Krause on camera, Steve Fontana, one of the renowned bass fishermen, especially on this side of the spillway. And Steve, been promising me 4 or 5 years, finally got me in a boat, and he says it's gonna be a different trip than we ever did. He's gonna show me to get 5 fish to win a tournament, how to fish on this side, and the technique. He told me don't bring no rod, don't bring nothing. Just, I'm gonna give you a rod. He did got a Revo reel, which is a sponsor. So tell me what we're gonna start, and what we're doing this morning, and from now on, this is your show.
The bass are feeding heavily on shad right now. They had a shad spawn a few months ago, and they're feeding heavy on the shad. We're just gonna hit some spots early in the morning, little ambush targets and all, and just try and get our best 5 and see what we can do.
One more thing. They had a storm yesterday, and the water's a little bit muddy.
So I don't know what that's gonna do, but I mean, I still feel like we'll catch some.
Okay, you ain't gonna let the black cloud scare you?
That black cloud ain't gonna scare me.
Gary Krause, you another one. You told me the guy is the best when it comes to this, so. I want to look. You see that trailer hook on there? You can tell he ain't fishing for fun.
Oh, no.
That's the bait. I'm ready to go.
All right, come on, let's go. Just pitch it close to it. There you go, like that. And draw them out. You're hitting it short again.
I like that line color. There you go.
Small. Believe it or not.
Oh, look at that.
She hit it?
Yeah, you
there you go. Believe it or not, we didn't catch many like that. Look also, turn back and throw down on the side, because a lot of times what happens, them bigger fish up under there, it takes several casts to get them out.
Steve, now you told me to put this life jacket on, leave it on, because we're going to be jumping and running.
We're going to be hitting targets.
We just started, you caught one fish there and missed 2. And then look at this bank. Why are we moving?
Because we're going to be hitting ambush points where these fish are set up at. I mean, you just spend too much time beating around the bank. We're going to specific targets where these fish are stacked on.
Well, I need to know these targets because you fished here how many years?
50 years.
Okay, I was wondering because somebody coming here fishing a tournament from out of town, and you look at all these, and you caught them one specific spot.
Over the years, I know where these fish like to lay up at, where they go.
Now, is that a run out somewhere coming out of that
right,
wood?
That's an old run out right there. Right.
I'm learning. I'm learning. Go, come on, let him teach me some more.
All right, now I want you to come right up here. We're going to catch a few right here.
Don't spill my call. A couple seconds.
That's it. Come right down the edge there. She'll come out and get it.
There.
Yep. She knocked it. She hit it.
Yeah, hit it twice.
Throw back in there again.
Hit it like a brim.
See your water starting to move now? Usually when your water starts moving, these fish will get active.
Fish is slow, you keep it up to it.
Yeah. They're running small right now, though. You got the trailer hook and the main hook.
Yeah, got that.
Yeah, when we're fishing together as a team and all, whatever cast I'm making, I'm gonna lay over. You make a cast up underneath me, a little shorthand cast, and we'll try and cover as much as we can, being effective.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Little something guns. That's Gar.
Yeah,
I just saw him.
Yeah, some of them are Gar now. Yeah, you got a lot of Gar doing the same thing. They feeding too. Yeah, just like that. That was a Gar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't look for the bank, you know, like a lot of people do. I look for the food source, the forage. I pay attention to the birds, the environment around me. And like I said, Mother Nature will tell you what's going on if you pay attention to it. And that's mainly what I do. I'll just go searching for the shad.
Yeah.
That's where the bass.
Steve, what about a point on the other side like that?
No, they're not on the point. They're not on the points right now. Right now they're feeding on the shad, so you got to stay on trees, hyacinths, even boats. Anything they can get under, they ambush shad right now. I'll get you over there. There you go. They're just running small today. They're thick across the back though. There you go. Ooh, she boiled up at it, didn't she?
Mm-hmm. That's why I was slowing it down, but
you got to get a little closer to it though. I mean, I want you to almost rub them pads.
I'm gonna pull it over this way.
The fish are shallow in the morning because that's where your food source is, your shad. Your shad are up early in the morning. And like the last time we did a show here, when this water warms up, them shad, with this sun coming out, they're gonna pull out to the deep water. And them bass are gonna follow those shad to the deep water. You're still gonna get some resident fish and stuff that's gonna pin up under these hyacinths. But the majority of your bass are gonna follow your food source, which is your shad. Golly, that was a big one there, see? I don't know what the problem is, they ain't wanting to eat it good.
Look at that.
She got it?
Oh, he did the same thing.
Popped at it? Boat position is the key to everything when you're out there fishing. I try and parallel a lot of this stuff because, you know, the longer you got your bait in the strike zone, the better chance you got of catching them. A lot of times just little underhand flips is all it takes to get these fish, you know, to react.
Tell me about your boat real quick. You tell me, somebody did you a big favor the other day?
Oh yeah, Louisiana Outboard. They helped me out last week. Fisher's Men, I had a part ordered. This was an air injector on number 6 cylinder. Dwayne, put a used part that he had on my motor so I could fish last week, which enabled me to be able to win the tournament. And it's people like that work with you, you know, and I recommend anybody to go see Dwayne and Jimmy at Louisiana Outboard. They'll fix you up. Yeah.
Remember, Gary's got huge blocks from you.
All right. There he is. Here's a better one. Here's a better one. Well, I say better. It's a 2-pound fish, 2.5. And look, trailer hook. Keep throwing right on the edge.
All right.
Don't worry about it.
I'm looking at the fish. You said look at the trailer hook. I look over there.
You fish. Don't worry about that.
You're killing me, Gary.
I want you to get one.
Yes.
All right.
Look at that fish.
You saw him right there?
Yeah. There you go.
There you go. There you go.
Oh,
That's a good one. Come on.
This one feel like it's good.
Yeah, it's a good one. Bring him over here.
Yeah, bring him over. He just pulling hard.
Yeah, but he's better fish. We can make him on the thing. There we go.
He gonna make the string?
Yeah, he'll make the string. Better make the string.
Hey,
as tough as it is right now. He'll make the string.
Hey.
Hmm?
Since I'm on the other side of the camera, can I at least touch one?
Yeah, here, touch this one.
Let me touch it. Oh, yeah.
Touch him. I'm still saving this side for the big one. Yeah, that's what it is. He was trying to catch a garfish and caught a bass.
Oh yeah, that's gonna make the string.
Yeah, the other one should have made it. Yeah, we should have 4. What, we got 3? No, we got 4. We count again. We should have 5. I missed that one a while ago. Yeah, there you go. There you go. I don't know, look like it. Get him up here. Yeah, he's good. Swing. Yeah, he'll make the cut.
You don't want to catch. Steve, we found a shade spot. You said we'd be through by 8:30, 9 o'clock. We'd have a big string of fish now. What is your favorite bait
My
for fishing bass?
Right there, spinnerbait.
That's the favorite.
That
Not
is,
to say you're not all your fish.
oh no. I like crankbaits and topwater baits and all, but that right there when I'm fishing tournaments, especially down here, they feed so much on the shad, that's what I throw a lot.
Now, everybody knows you give me your secret up. I don't know if it's going to cost you.
Nah, these fish move daily out here, and you know, it doesn't bother me to show somebody something. And like I said, they're gonna move with the shad. They're gonna be in deep water probably another week or so. They're gonna be in these deep holes I'm talking about, and then you're gonna have to be able to crank to catch them then.
I'm 70 years old, and I learned something today. So,
yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you what I learned. I had a stroke about 5 years ago, and I always thought that catching big bass and mounting them and winning bass tournaments and all was important. But what's important is my Lord and Savior, my wife, we're fixing to be married 40 years in 2018, my children and my grandkids. That's what's important now. Fishing is just a hobby. I like to compete, but it's not my everything I used to think it was.
Where you want to let them go? Right here?
Right here's fine.
All right. Let's all let them go.
Yeah.
I guess it.
Now watch these springs, they'll stick
All
you.
y'all tournament fish, y'all be proud of me.
Yeah,
But the 20 other fish we caught today, or he caught, they would not be going in the water. They would be going to Planche Road in a frying pan. So I just want y'all to know.
Oh man, look. Go get you some sacklet. Don't do that. You hurt me.
We lose a good time, all right. That's one I caught.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I grabbed your fish.
Yeah, say one.
Courtesy's got your truck, man, so get yourself a deal, man.
Courtesy Automotive is one of the largest and most experienced automotive groups in the South. Courtesy is the clear choice for all your automotive needs. So whether you're looking for a Ford, a Chevrolet, a Ram, Toyota, or a GMC, Courtesy's got your truck.
A big truck, a small truck, Courtesy's got your truck, man.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana, and joining us today is Rad Trasher from the Coastal Conservation Association, kind of doing double duty. We're going to get a star fishing update later on, but Rad, we primarily want to talk about this red snapper issue, and at the risk of being redundant, because people have been following this, but we got people that tune in that know nothing about it. Basically, it's come down to this. It seems like everyone in Louisiana and the other Gulf states is wanting to take the management of the red snapper in the Gulf of Mexico in federal waters and put it in the hands of the states. Now, how we get about doing that, that's where the controversy comes in. People have wanted to, Garrett Graves has House Resolution 3094. That would create a new management authority made up of the 5 directors of the state agencies. Charles Melancon came on this program. He's objected to that with the main concern, economics. He doesn't think the funding will be there for our state to take that on at this time. He would rather put it back in the hands of the Gulf Fisheries Management Council, where it's been for a while. From there, tell us what CCA's perspective is on those options.
Well, you know, snapper has been a tough issue for years and years. As you know, Don, we've probably talked about it 1,000 times on this show. But, you know, the Gulf Council has had this problem for years. They can't fix it. We have tried that route. We have gone with multiple different options, new amendments, trying to change Magnuson, put it in the hands of the Gulf Council, and they can't do it. And what's shocking about this whole situation is for the last few years, people like CCA, as well as the local charter fishermen and Garrett Graves and the department has been working to put all these steps in place so a bill like Garrett's can actually get through the House and through Congress and hopefully solve the problem. But then, after all those years and all those steps are now finally in place where this could actually work, kind of got the rug pulled out from under us. Funding is a concern, but you know, one of the things that is so frustrating in this process is, you know, at one point the leadership says, we're just gonna put it in the hands of the Gulf Council because they know best, which we have all said for years is not the case. But also, you know, we want, even as the secretary said, he wants everybody to sit down, figure it out. He wants to put everybody in the room and have a good negotiation. He came out with this stance without talking to the congressman that wrote the bill, without us, without the Charter Boat Association, or any of those folks. And as you saw last Thursday in the commission meeting, the only people that were basically keeping with his message were the commercial guys from Texas and the charter fishermen from Florida, which he doesn't represent either of those parties. So right now, we want regional management, we want state management. We had trusted the department to do what's better for not only the resource, but the angler. And we had dealt with all of the other agencies across the Gulf Coast, and they had agreed upon it, and that's what that new bureaucracy was going to be made up of.
What's your answer to the economics of it?
Depending on what numbers you look at, you know, it was a very interesting thing. Patrick came out and said we had worked diligently over the last 72 hours to come up with that number. It might be right, but it might not be, because they came up with that $10 million answer 3 weeks prior to that commission meeting. One of the arguments we heard was, you know, well, there was an amendment passed that took all the funding away from the bill. Well, that is true, but that bill is not totally done. That amendment is not going to totally stay. It can be changed and tweaked, and it's not really the responsibility of the secretary to make a judgment call that now with that amendment in its early form is going to change the whole deal. So what are the economics? I think it's something we can work on. I mean, you know, that was one of the concepts we had. If that's the main reason, if it's truly about funding, ask us. You know, I mean, look, the license fee increase was passed once you told fishermen we needed this just to make sure that we could get regional management and snapper. Nobody had a problem with it. You have an offshore landing permit that's free. People were happy to do it. You know, there are other tools in the toolbox if everybody truly was going to sit down and try to figure it out. But right now, it seems like they're taking a hard line that they want to side with the commercial fishermen from out of state and the charter fishermen
Well,
from out of
even
state.
the other state directors right now really felt like they got the rug pulled out from under them. That's what I...
Absolutely. You know, it's one thing if this would have been some crazy bill that nobody had followed from Alaska, but to have your local congressman introduce a bill that everybody, if you fish, especially if you're in our industry, you know there have been a whole lot of players, not just CCA, but legislators and administrative, the old administration, wildlife and fisheries, scientists, the whole 9 yards. Everybody was involved in all these steps. To all of a sudden flip the switch and quite frankly, basically give all the arguments of the opposing side.
How can we get back together?
The best way, we want to work with the administration. We want to work with the governor, and the governor
did it before.
Huh?
You did it before.
We have been here before. We want to work it out, and I agree with the secretary that a good compromise. No one is exactly happy, but what's sad about it is this was a compromise. This was not going to change the commercial fishing industry. It wasn't going to change the charter fishermen. It's going to change the people, the stakeholders that spend all of that money to snapper fish, go down to the coast. So, what we would say is, let's get everybody in a room. But don't forget, the department represents, the first thing they have to do is take care of the resource and then take care of their constituents, which are the residents of Louisiana. This is not about how we move fish from Louisiana to Florida. We have all the stock. Yes, they have a lot more fishermen, but we had made compromises with those other states to make sure everybody kind of got their fair shake. And we think it would not only benefit the fishermen, but it would greatly benefit the resource itself, which is red snapper.
If not, the other states wouldn't be for it.
Absolutely. That the other state departments, yes, they're appointed by their governors and so on, but they want to do what's best for the resource too. In hopes, you would hope the administration doesn't care what side of the fence. They want to do what's best for the resource and what's best for their constituents. Yes, is it going to take some compromise between Florida and Texas and Louisiana and Alabama? Sure. But those people had already all agreed that they would sit down and work those details out, and we were all okay with that.
Don, you got any more questions? Because
Red, the red snapper, while it is a big issue, it doesn't affect as large a user group as our other fisheries. Is there a concern on CCA's part that the outcome of this might affect the sunset on the fishing license increase, and feeling that money was put for these type of programs, and if you're not going to use it for that, we're going to let it expire? And then what would happen the next time fishermen are asked to come to the table and put a self-tax on themselves in the form of a license or a permit fee?
Well, I think, one, snapper is a bigger issue than a lot of people think of. I mean, look, I'm seeing regular inshore charter captains catching snapper almost every day. The trout bite is slow, go a few miles offshore and catch snapper. So I think a lot of people care about it. But also, this is an issue that I think most fishermen are looking at because they don't know what's next. We were promised that this administration, we're going to stand with you, work with you, do whatever we can to do what's best for the resources and the fishermen. And unfortunately, with this issue, none of that is happening. They are taking a hard stance and not visiting with the stakeholders. So whether it's license fees, the creel tagging programs, or other species, you never know what's going to happen. And so it's time for the fishermen and the anglers and the conservationists of this state to go, hey, enough's enough. You need to talk to us. We're been the best thing for the resource, just like you are with ducks and deer. Usually the harvesters and the hunters are the best people to conserve a resource. Come to us, ask us. We want to work with you. We don't just want more fish. We want what's best for the resource, but in this case, it's going to benefit the anglers as well.
Well, Red, I've got people telling me, man, y'all get off of that red snapper deal. We get tired of hearing it. We're tired of seeing it in the paper, but it's necessary. We just want to keep y'all informed here at Paradise, Louisiana. But we get ready to come back and find out how the Star's going.
All right, we can do that.
Be ready. Stay tuned. We'll be more Paradise, Louisiana with Brad Thrasher.
It's not too late to join the 2016 CCA Star Tournament. Don't miss your chance to compete for over $500,000 in prizes. Boats, tackle packages, trips, and even cash. Over 25 divisions up for grabs. Whether you're young or old, fish inshore or offshore, they have one for you. Don't go fishing without your Star ticket. Register at ccastar.com now through Labor Day.
This is our love, this is our life, this is our home, Louisiana. This is our day, come what may. This is our
It's the summer of sizzle at the all-new Honda of Covington Power Sports. The #7 power sports dealer in the nation. Get sizzling savings on a huge selection of Honda ATVs, side-by-sides, generators, and mowers. Right now, buy the Honda 4Trax Rancher for $37.99. $37.99 delivers the 4Trax Rancher. Plus, the Honda of Covington Power Sports Service Center is ready to keep your Honda running longer. Come on and find your happy Honda place at the all-new Honda of Covington Power Sports.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana. With us is Rad Trasher. He's also the director of the Star statewide tournament and Anglers Rodeo by the CCA. And we're approaching, if we're not there, the halfway point in the tournament.
We're close, halfway point. Leaderboard is pretty much full. The only slow division has kind of been in that southwest area. Vermilion Bay still has a lot of fresh water in it, but it's filling up. But I will tell you, Don, nothing is sealed up. You know, we've had some great fish caught, but it seems like right now the biggest fish were caught either in May or they haven't been caught yet. And I know that we're starting to see a lot of good reports out of the east side of the state. The river's starting to drop, and so I would imagine we're going to start having some leaderboard changes here in the near future.
Well, I know the river's starting to drop. You know, when you'll see in our fishing report, Venice is on fire, but I don't know about the big trout. But there's people catching lots of trout all the way on the coast right now. And it's been hit or miss. So, you know, those big trout that usually come from those areas are not coming in. Now, we got a nice sized trout at Grand Isle. Right. Is in there with Jolynn Vidrine, you know, Thomas Vidrine's wife, and they've been still catching them all in the 5-pound, 6-pound range, but none of those monster trout yet coming from Venice. We got all these rodeos coming up now. What kind of idea you can tell them? You know, got the Faux Pas and the Big Daddy at Grand Isle, they're going to be the same weekend. Then the weekend before that, you're going to have the Salt, Big Salt, on Lake Charles and Big Lake, and then the Cocoa Lady Tournament. So you've got 4 big tournaments in 2 weeks span. What kind of advice you can give people?
The main advice is, folks, if you're fishing the Star tournament, make sure you go to our weigh station first. For example, if you are in Venice, go to the Venice Marina scale first, weigh your starfish, then go to the Faux Pas scale. Same thing with Grand Isle. Go into Sand Dollar, weigh your fish with us, then go into Tarpon Rodeo scales, because they keep your fish at Tarpon Rodeo. So you want to weigh it with us first. You can fish 2 tournaments at once, and it's the same thing with those other tournaments. We have no problem with a fish winning our tournament and another tournament at the same time, because we know, look, those 7, 8, 9-pound trout or whatever those divisions are, that fish of a lifetime might only happen once, and we don't want you to take a
just not
have
trout
to decide.
either. Big flounder. They had a big flounder. They sent it to us. You'll see them on Fish Report. Blake Hebert caught one. It wouldn't register. They had 5-1. That's a big flounder. It even looks bigger than that.
You know, we always talk about the folks that are caught tag redfish. Right now we've had 4 tag redfish caught, 3 of which aren't winners. We've had 2 tag trout caught, neither one of those are winners. But you also have a lot of these situations where we had a big trout in the west caught, wasn't a member. We had this flounder caught, he wasn't a member. So besides the tag fish, there's a lot of losers out there that aren't registered. It's well worth your $30 entry fee and your CCA membership. Get registered. The tournament is only half over, and I think we got a lot more big fish to come.
That's it.
On a technical aspect, if someone brings a fish to a rodeo, one of the bigger ones or even a small rodeo, and they also have a Star ticket and want to weigh it there, if they want to mark that fish by clipping a fin or something, do your people have any problem in accepting a fish that might be considered mutilated?
Yes, bring your fish to our scales first. Because a mutilated fish is not eligible for Star. So that's why I say we will not clip that tail.
Okay.
And so that way you are safe to go fish the Grand Isle Tarpon Rodeo or Faux Pas or one of the 100 other tournaments at all these other weigh stations across the state. Go to one of our weigh stations, do it, let them fill out the paperwork, and then let the other tournaments do it how they wish.
And if you don't want to end up like a lot of these people we're talking about, what's the best way to get signed up at this stage of the game?
Go to ccastar.com is the easiest way, or go to one of the 35 weigh stations across the coast or any Academy Sports and Outdoors location. But also go to ccalouisiana.com. Speaking of tournaments, Ride the Bull is coming up August 26th and 27th. It is the world's largest kayak tournament. in Grand Isle at Bridgeside Marina. Even if you don't come fish, come for the party and the spectacle. It's a neat time. Danny Ray and his wife Kristen founded the tournament 6 years ago. We have been a sponsor since day one and provided not only money but also volunteers to help with it. Unfortunately, Kristen lost her battle to cancer at the end of last year, and Danny came to us and said, the only person I kind of trust with my baby is y'all. Will you carry on the torch? So CCA is taking over Ride the Bull. I'm going to be the tournament director, but all the same players are involved. Chris and Vicky Holmes, and our friends over at Fogey, and Tim Osborne, and all the people that have been involved for the last 6-7 years.
Danica,
they're all coming back.
People, wildlife and fishers, and
oh yeah, Danica's already on board to come and help us. So,
and in Paradise, Louisiana.
And Paradise, Louisiana. I hadn't talked to y'all about that, but I know y'all will be there because you don't miss a rodeo, and you know we have good bull shrimp at that time.
Well, not only that, the parties, talking about parties, all these tournaments coming up right now, they're party time.
Absolutely.
Pork Pie and Grand Isle Rodeo, Big Daddy, that's Mardi Gras. That's Mardi Gras, and your sponsor, our sponsor, Donnie Rouse is the president of the rodeo.
It shows you, we film here all the time, but it shows you that the president of a corporation this big is that involved. To be the chairman of Tarpon Rodeo, he's a sponsor of ours, sponsor of y'all's. Great guy, great family. So we wish him the best at Tarpon Rodeo. I know I will be there with a whole lot of other people. So come see us on Grand Isle.
We're going to spend a lot of time with Donnie. Getting ready for all the parties. We're going to be following him with a camera. So
that's unfortunate for Donnie.
That's all the fun. No, that's the fun about it. I brought a lot of storms to Grand Isle.
Look, as most people know, you don't have to fish to enjoy Tarpon Rodeo.
You better do it.
I got a new name for him with his camera. The Fisherazzi. That's his official name. All right, you got a lot of summertime fishing still to go, a lot of tournaments to get involved in. We got those coming up a little bit later on our calendar, and we've also got our Berkeley Abu Garcia fishing report. You're watching it on Paradise, Louisiana.
Come to the family-owned and operated Cassius Casino in Port Allen today, where the Vegas-style video poker machines are ready for your entertainment. Cassius Casino is the finest, cleanest, classiest casino around. And Cassius 50-style diner is now serving seafood daily, along with your favorite home-cooked specials 24/7. Hey, Cassius is fun. Cassius is exciting. So come to the unsinkable Cassius Casino in Port Allen. Over the river 2 miles west of exit 151.
Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change has been keeping cars and trucks in Baton Rouge clean and running smooth for over 50 years. At Benny's, we feature professional car washing, complete detailing, high-tech waxing and buffing, interior cleaning, and tire shine. Benny's, one stop for car maintenance with complete oil and lube services and even state inspections at our express locations. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations, including our newest store on Greenwell Springs Road. And don't forget to stop by Be Quick Convenience Store and Fuel Stop. Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change. Drive in dirty, drive out clean.
Who doesn't want to save money on fuel? Now, Shell and the Fuel Rewards Network are putting you in control of how much you pay for fuel. Simply buy whatever's on your shopping list. Clothes, groceries, even dinner out. And earn cents per gallon savings at participating retailers nationwide. Now, fuel prices are in your hands. So why wait? Sign up at fuelrewards.com today and turn shopping power into saving power.
Visit Cracker Barrel convenience stores before heading fishing or hunting. We have more than you expect.
Welcome to the Flambeau Outdoor News segment of Paradise, Louisiana. And Gary, I think our news time this week probably best spent with a little boating safety. We have had a number of fatalities that took place within a 3 or 4 week span. Seemed like just when you hear about one, there'd be another one coming on. This is on the heels of National Safe Boating Week. When the U.S. Coast Guard auxiliaries showed up and they were giving free boating safety checks. It seems like when these things come, they come in bunches, and it just brings to mind you got to be careful out there. And some of these investigations by the department are still going on, and there is suspicion that alcohol was involved in more than one of them.
But every one of them, these people drowned with no life preserver. In other words, no legal life preserver. PFC, whatever you want to call them, PF what?
PFD, Personal Flotation Device.
PFC, now, that's a plastic.
That's a rank in the Army, yeah.
No, but Don, you know that's that. And even among ourselves, we go with a lot of captains, okay? Some captains will insist that you put your blanket on. I'm talking about inshore captains, you know, fishing, running bay boats and stuff, and they run a lot of shallow water. But you know, if you fall out of a boat, you hit your head, you might be in 4 inches of water. We should do it, and a lot of them do it. But since I've been on TV, not to be phony, you know, but I got one of those light jackets and I wear it and I try to encourage it. The law states that anybody under 12, when the boat is running, have to have a personal flotation device.
Well, I think the only thing that's going to do it is if they would eventually pass a law. In the case of professional guides, they might think they're going to lose business if they force their customers to wear a life jacket. Maybe they won't go with them next time if they get somebody that objects to that. It's still a matter of common sense, you know, and it's up to the individual. You know, we live in a country with freedoms, and if you want to be free to not be able to save your life if you get involved in an accident, I mean, accidents happen, equipment fails. Drunk boaters, just like drunk drivers, can put you in the water into a bad situation where you're injured. Cold water, we know that, hypothermia, the effects of that. I think we are seeing more and more people wearing PFDs. There's been an effort to make those more comfortable. I think one of the things is, where do you put it when you're getting ready to fish and you're making a lot of stops and moves? You know, boat space is at a premium as far as your lockers. Where do you put them? How can you get to them quickly when you need them? Chris Lecoq, when we went down, he was impressed on a trip down to Fouchon where they had them in a very prominent place, where they were easy to get. You slip it on. When the boat stops to fish, you slip it off. All that comes into play, but unless they pass a law and make it mandatory, I don't think you're going to see everyone starting to wear them.
I think that's one thing needs to be changed into the better. And then the news we bring to you probably won't be bad, because like Don says, we had a lot of deaths. One of them even frog, you know. So fall out.
Be careful out there. Use a lot of common sense. And in my book, alcohol and water definitely doesn't mix. We'll be back with the Abu Garcia Fishing Report right here on Paradise, Louisiana.
At Rouse's, we love food as much as you do. That's why it's no surprise our chefs aren't the only cooks who work here. Rouse's butchers know how to select, trim, and cook every cut we sell. Of course, our produce experts are the very best in the field.
And on the field.
And you can always count on our seafood department for the best catch.
Heads up, Brandon.
The best quality and the best price is why the best chefs and cooks
shop and work at Rouse's.
It's the summer of sizzle at the all-new Honda of Covington Power Sports. The #7 power sports dealer in the nation. Get sizzling savings on a huge selection of Honda ATVs, side-by-sides, generators, and mowers. Right now, buy the Honda 4Trax Rancher for $37.99. $37.99 delivers the 4Trax Rancher. Plus, the Honda of Covington Power Sports Service Center is ready to keep your Honda running longer. Come on and find your happy Honda place at the all-new Honda of Covington Power Sports.
Welcome to the Berkeley Abu Garcia Fishing Report. And Gary, we talked earlier about this a little bit. It has really gotten hot down around that Venice area. It has really turned on both for fresh and saltwater inshore fishing, because that Mississippi River dropped and it continues to drop.
Right. And the reason you're saying it's hot, Gary Kraus said the water temperature was 91 degrees. But everywhere, this is how they fishing. They're going down there, if you find water mixing and muddy, you have to go to where it's clearing up, and then you can either flip the canes, he says, but the mild winter and the river being that high, he said the coontail grass is everywhere. So that's going to put you in the mind. You want to fish frogs, you want to flip a jig in the canes, but you fishing that grass, you fishing plastics. He was using the typical baits by Cream. Everybody has them baits. They either fluke style or this and that. Some of them they fishing that grass, and they swimming along that grass, outside that grass, spinnerbait, and that's what they catching down in Venice. And you can see by this picture, some of them are some muse. There's some good fish.
I'll tell you another hot spot that's been good. You say hit and miss. I got good reports over the weekend. The basin, Chafalaya Basin. They're starting to catch a lot of fish there. The word is when the tide starts affecting the river gauge, that's a real sign that it's time to get down there.
Don, freshwater still is just not that area. Up in the north, Toledo Bend again. Man, look, sac-a-lait are just unbelievable. People fishing at night, during the day. I'm getting reports from 100 sac-a-lait, 4 people on a party board. I thank my people over there living the dream. They are still hammering them. You can get them. That's almost a guarantee sac-a-lait at Toledo Bend with them guys like that are using those party boards. Another one is Concordia, St. John, and all those areas. They're catching brim, they're catching sac-a-lait, and they're all catching bass early in the morning. I get a topwater report from a boy Howdy at Toledo Bend, the Mahas that had their kids. He sent me his first bad picture. Mark, I'm not gonna hold you against it, but you gotta watch those shadows under them trees. He had them kids lined up and they were all catching them on top water. You know how much fun they are?
And we got our first ever Doubly fishing report, right? From Doubly?
Doubly, where is Doubly?
Doubly, I am told, is up near Minden.
Brent Connolly over there had an 8-pound bass in Lake Ivan in the Cotton Valley. Cotton Valley would be going up north of Lake Bruin and them in that area, going to Lake Providence. Where's Cotton Valley?
Got me.
You're supposed to be.
Got me. Look.
Why I got you here?
They've been keeping it a secret, but they got big bass up there. We're going to find out exactly where it is.
8 pounds. Corey McBride been sending me some sac-a-lait, and then he going down to Grand Island catching fish. Corey, you keep them coming. He has some sac-a-lait and bass he caught in by a pigeon, and he's also been fishing up down in Grand Island, and he's catching speckled trout. When do you work, Corey? He's been sending me a lot of pictures. I don't want to get you in trouble. I think he works for Aerial Excess or something, but I hope the man don't find out. But you've been fishing a lot. Thank you, man. Lake Charles area, getting a lot of people calling me over there. Willie Carter sending me some big lake pictures, big redfish, catching a few speckled trout, and flounder. Flounder coming from over there again. They're starting to run in the ship canal, ship channel. I got another one coming in. I showed you the picture a while ago. The young boy, Abear boy, caught that big flounder and wouldn't register for the start, 5 pound, 1 ounce. That's coming from that area.
Well, I'll tell you another area, Delacroix. Toby Cooper sent in some pictures. He and his buddy Gary went out there again this week. Did very well on some beautiful bronze-colored reds. Said the bass were not quite as plentiful, but they had a lot of fun on the redfish. Hopedale, I'm going there this week. I'll have a report firsthand. The report I'm getting from Breton Sound Marina and Shell Beach area. Trout are still on, but you got to go a little further out to the platforms, Black Bay. Bring along some live bait that's producing. Mystical rocks can be good. And inside the Biloxi Marsh, still full of plenty of redfish.
No, and I got a report from Brandon Dubrock. He sort of fished everywhere. He was fishing down there with the guys, and he couldn't find it. But one he did find when he was fishing where the rigs were, and I remember you told me this years ago, they're not fishing right under the rigs in those areas. They backing off about 70 yards. Is that because you said they had rock pads or they moved them, whatever they are, that's where they were catching fish. People up against the rigs are not catching. And they fishing artificial, they fish them on the bottom, they're fishing slow and catching big, smaller trout, school trout.
Well, offshore reports, I think we're going to start getting a lot more of them because we got some big rodeos coming up in the next couple of weeks, and that's got offshore categories in it. People are going to be out there looking for the tuna, the wahoo, the dolphin, and of course the mangrove snapper got a little shot in the arm. And one encouraging report I got this week, cobia had been a little slow. We had a great big one that came into one of the rodeos and actually is leading the starboard right now. But the cobia, the lemonfish, is starting to show up in better numbers, and that's always good news.
Larry Drawron sent me a picture of yellowfin tuna, 17 yellowfin tuna. Him and his family out there fishing, the whole family. It was so calm. Tommy Vidring says Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it was so calm. They were getting beat up with that west wind, and they've been able to fish the barges, the rocks, everywhere you're going, either free lining shrimp, and when he can catch pokies, sometimes the pokies are hard to find. You got to get up early in the morning and go where these places and do it. But when he gets pokies, it's guaranteed a big trout. And if you see some of the pictures I show you of Tommy Vidring, plus they're using those pokies and stuff, and they're going offshore and catching these mangroves. So him and his wife, happy couple, good-looking couple, and right now they're living the dream for sure. They're at Grand Island and they're catching fish.
One more report I want to add, shrimp season's now closed in most of Louisiana's waters, especially the inside. So if you had a spot that got muddied up and you had a conflict with shrimp boats in the area, those boats are going to be gone, so you might want to return to those areas. I'm talking primarily around Lafitte, like the Little Lake area, St. Mary's Point, some of those other areas there, starting to produce some good catches of trout again. Well, continue to send your reports and your pictures, help out our other viewers. Send it in to Gary at Paradise, Louisiana. Don't forget, if you're taking photographs with your cell phone or video, turn it sideways.
And
fill the screen.
And don't forget all those rodeos coming up. Salty Catch,
absolutely,
and them in a couple of weeks, and then Coco Marina, the ladies Coco tournament, then the Big Daddy, and Grand Isle, Tarpon Rodeo, and Fall Pie.
Yep.
Do not forget them. And a lot of fun, a lot of fish caught.
2 big rodeos. I'll be on the east end at Faux Pas in Venice with Chris Lecoq, and you'll be there in Grand Isle, so we'll have coverage of both of them. One place I will not be is here next week, so I hope you have a good show next week.
Yeah, we're going to try to get down in Homer area. So next Monday we'll be in the Homer Thibodeau area. We try to get the president of the rodeo, Donnie Rouse, on the show with us.
All right, very good. We'll see you back again here next week with another edition of Paradise, Louisiana.